This tutorial shows how to use new quizzes and the fill in the blank tool. So I have a worksheet that I want to turn into a new quiz, and I am going to press inside of my Canvas class. I'm going to say add a quiz. I'm going to choose new quiz, submit. And this information is just on the setup of the quiz. Remember to sync it to my student, give it a due date. Then down here, you're going to see a blue button that says build. Once you're in the quiz, you can add some instructions if you would like. Let's just get started on building. So we're going to press the plus button, and this is about using the fill in the blank tool. So it's going to open it up. It always asks you if you want to give it a question title. This is very helpful if you are saving your questions in an item bank to then be used later on. So this question is a vocab question. So I'm going to say vocab word for chapter 4. For this question, I want my students to be able to come up with the word comply. So I am going to write down the word comply, and that's the word I want the students to be able to come up with. So I am going to put a back tick on the front of it and a back tick on the other side. And now it knows that's the question, that is the word that we are trying to have the students come up with. Type out your definition, and then we get to decide. Probably the easiest way for a vocab choice would be to just say open entry. This means that the students are going to have to make an exact match to the word comply. And you can say, make it a close enough, make it specific, make it the exact match. I'm going to say close enough. If you say close enough, it will give you a drop-down menu, and I like to check spelling only, like you ignore the case in case they don't capitalize. At the bottom of the question is where you change the points, and you give comments for either correct answers or incorrect answers. So you can give them a clue to go back and correct something if they are allowed to have multiple attempts on the quiz. Click done, and then press done. Now let's look at the other two options within fill in the blank. So fill in the blank also allows you, once you have typed out the word, that is when it's going to give you options of how students are supposed to fill in those words. So I'm going to come over here to my sentences that I already have typed out, try to just save a little bit of time. And I'm going to take this first sentence, copy it, come over here, paste it. I know I need to get rid of these blanks because that is where the correct answer goes. Delete them, and using my handy key, that I wrote on old-fashioned paper, I am going to set the answers in backticks. So protect is one of the words, give it a space. And the other one is Native American. And I am going to put that in backticks. Now I have my two words. And instead of open entry, your other options are to put it in a drop-down menu or to put it into, and we'll do two different options. So we will say a word bank in one and a drop-down menu. So now you have to fill it with something else. So I have just filled in some not very good distracting words, but I've filled in some other choices for my two different blanks that I want the kids to be able to fill out. I'm going to change the points and click Done. Now I want to show you what it looks like from the preview. So as the kids will see this, they're going to see this option where they have to actually type out the word comply. And on this one, they're going to see it written. I like that it keeps the font the same. And then you get the option for this one, drop down menu. And on this one, it's an example of a drag and drop. Drag that over and press submit. This is what it will look like for the kids for their results. Click exit the preview. And this is where you will control how many times the students get to take the quiz. So if you want them to be able to have multiple attempts, make sure to mark that here. You mark it in two places. You mark it both in Canvas and on the actual quiz. And to get back into the Canvas portion of it, where you are setting the due date and other settings, click Return. You would want to make your points match the total amount of points that are in the actual quiz so that there's not a discrepancy there. And remember to sync it to Canvas, give it a due date, and do save and publish. And then your quiz is all ready to go.